Welcome to the season of self-love, your daily dose of inspiration and encouragement. I'm your host, Nyomi, and I am thrilled to be here with you today. This podcast is brought to you by Ask Nyomi and Elevate Me Self-Discovery. Are you ready to elevate your mindset and embrace the power of self-love? Well, have you come to the right place? Each day we'll dive into topics that will empower and inspire you on your journey towards self-discovery and personal growth. Whether you're looking to cultivate healthy relationships, boost your confidence, or find balance in your life, this podcast is here to support your every step of the way. We believe that self-love is the foundation of living a fulfilled and joyful life. And together we explore practical tips, insightful interviews, and transformative stories that will leave you feeling inspired and motivated. So join me Monday through Friday as we embark on this daily adventure of self-love. Tune into the Season of Self-Love podcast to start your day on a positive note and discover the limitless potential within yourself. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Today is Tuesday, May 28, 2024, and I want to welcome you back, my beautiful souls, to another enriching episode of the Season of Self-Love podcast. I am your host, Nyomi, and today we will continue our journey through the month of May with our theme, using our words impeccably. And in this episode, it's all about the vibrant energy of positivity. And we're going to explore on how this powerful word can transform our attitudes, brighten our days, and deeply influence our path towards self-love. So let's embark on this radiant journey together and let's light up our worlds with positivity. All right, so let's take a quick break, and then when we return, we'll get more into this topic. All right, so it's your girl, the goddess, Nyomi here on the Season of Self-Love podcast, and we'll be right back. What are some common barriers that prevent people from expressing? Hey, it's your girl, the goddess, Nyomi here from the Season of Self-Love podcast.
Yeah, I would say remorse. So shame and guilt is a very dividing emotional.
And these are one of the many amazing conversations that we have every day, Monday through Friday, right here on the Season of Self-Love podcast with myself, Nyomi, as well as our resident therapist, Dr. Will Washington of Washington Wellness Institute. Come by.
The reality of our relationships with people.
Come by.
And a lot of times we're afraid of how people look at us. And so that compassion can't enter.
You can hit us on the website, the Season of Self-Love podcast.
Let me ask you this, with the truth, is it...
Washington Wellness Institute focuses on healing always. For me, if I look good, then I feel good. If I feel good, then I share the good. If I share the good, then I celebrate the good. If I celebrate the good, then I live the good. So I can be paid to be my greatest. But I have to learn the good to be the good.
So, what does it take to be the greatest? It's as simple as a free 15-minute consultation. Be kind to yourself and heal always.
All right, welcome back. It's your girl, the goddess, Nyomi here on the Season of Self-Love podcast. And you know, the month of May is all about us using our words impeccably. And today's word is understanding. But before we dive into our discussion, let's center ourselves with a short guided meditation. I want you to close your eyes and take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, I want you to let go of any negativity. Now with each inhale, I want you to imagine drawing in positive energy, filling every part of your being with brightness and hope. I want you to picture a radiant light surrounding you, filling you with warmth and positivity. Now I want you to repeat after me silently. I am a beacon of positivity. I attract joy and abundance into my life. And today I choose to radiate it in every thought, word, and action. I want you to take a moment to bask in this positivity. want you to gently open your eyes. And I want you to be ready to embrace the day ahead, all right? All right, if you are new here to the Season of Self-Love podcast, this is just something that we do every day, Monday through Friday, just a little guided meditation just to help us to, kind of center ourselves before we get into the topic at hand. And it's all about using our words impeccably. And today, the impeccable word of today is positivity. And exploring how to use the word as positivity is how we're going to start. Now, you see, positivity isn't just about feeling happy. It's a tool that can profoundly impact our well-being and in the way that we interact with the world. So what I want to do, I want to unpack some layers of positivity and discover on how they can harness its power. You see, positivity can be cultivated in various layers to enhance one's well-being and outlook on life. Number one, gratitude. This is a word that we speak about often. Gratitude is like the cornerstone or the pillar of who we are. It's more on focusing on what you are thankful for and expressing gratitude for the good things in your life. Another one is optimism. Having a positive attitude towards the future and believing that things will work out for the best. Another layer is mindfulness. Being present in the moment and acknowledging your thoughts and feelings without judgment. Another layer is self-compassion. Treating yourself with kindness and understanding, and especially during difficult times. Another layer is the act of kindness. Engaging in acts of kindness towards others can bring a sense of fulfillment and positivity. Here's another layer, positive affirmation. Practicing positive self-talk and affirming your worth and capabilities is another layer that can help cultivate that positivity. And our last layer is surrounding yourself with positive influences. Spending time with supportive and uplifting people who encourage your growth and well-being. You see, by incorporating these different layers of positivity into your day, into your life, then you can create a more optimistic and fulfilling mindset. All right, so as I was writing notes and making an outline for today's show, I was like, how am I going to do this show? How am I going to bring this show across in a positive way? And because my day yesterday, it started off beautiful. It started out great. And then I had a nice little trying time. Towards the middle of the day. And I'm going to just speak very briefly on that trying time. Now, I had seen throughout the weekend that my mom, she was diagnosed with dementia, Alzheimer's dementia. And she has been doing very, very well these past few weeks, months. This past month, she's been doing very well. And so we hadn't had as many flare-ups is what I call them, to where she goes into these episodes. And we hadn't had them in a while. And I you get this glimpse and you see the sense of coming in, right? And so as I'm seeing them coming in, I'm like, oh my God, okay, let me try to figure out something, on how to manage this. So I was able to manage the little ones, that was, trying to flare up throughout the weekend, all right? And so, because she was, misplacing things, losing things, and we were able to, she was able to find them. And the best thing is for her to find them and not us to find them. So I said, well, you know what, Mama, I think you had, such and such. So I'll say this and, kind of, I thought I saw you put it here, to where maybe she'll go back into that space or place, where, maybe she forgot it. And so yesterday afternoon, she had came and she had said, I can't find my mailbox key. And she said, you were the last person that I gave my mailbox key to. And I said, well, yeah. I said, but you came back and got it from me the other day, which was last Thursday. I said, you came back and got it from me. I said, and you went upstairs with it. And I said, that was the last time I seen it. And so she has the keys, and she has one key on there. Well, she has the keys, but then on that keychain was the mailbox key. And it was gone. But also, now that I'm sitting here talking with you all now, I remember that she had actually labeled and taped 3 different keys on there. The front door, the top lock, the bottom lock, and the what's name. When I looked on the keys yesterday that she gave me, there was no labels on them. So now I think I know what happened to the key. All right, so I didn't know what happened to the key. I thought, well, maybe, it got loose or, And she said, well, her thing was, I've had it on all these years. There is no way that this can happen. So as I'm sitting there, I said, well, let me go in here and find, try to help find it, through your room. But when I go in the room, it's just, it's just a chaos of a mess now because she has been looking for several different things that she has misplaced. All right. So I go into the room and I'm standing there and I'm like, oh God, okay, it's okay. It's worse than what I thought. So I come out and I go in my room and I take a moment for myself because I have to do that. I take a moment for myself and I'm sitting there. And I have my eyes closed and I hear a knock at my door and that's her. She said, come in. Is she said, well, can I be honest? I said, yes, please be honest. She said, well, I think you all are messing with me. I think you all trying to drive me crazy. Like I know what my stuff is. And so she begins to talk and she says that I just went to the mailbox yesterday. My mom hasn't been to the mailbox in months, maybe about a month or so. She hasn't been to the mailbox. And then she says, well, I believe this is something that, and I was scared that this would happen. It's something that my mother went through, your grandmother went through. And this is, I didn't want to have to go through this. This is something that I don't want to go. She said, so maybe, she said, I'm not claiming it. She said, but I think I might have. And I said the words for her. And then she said, yeah. And I said, well, Mom, we've already been to the doctor. Well, we have? I said, yes, we have. I said, yes, we have. We already been to the doctor. And she just looked at me and she just started crying. And at that moment, I, kind of hugged and held her. And then she stopped crying. And then she repeated it was like it was like, as you write a script for a play and you say cut and let's do it again. And so it was like a replay. And so she had went through it again. And I think it did it like 2 or 3 times. And then when I realized that, but I realized it before, but when it was like, okay, do something, I said, well, you know what? I said, well, the doctor told us that these are the things that we need to do. And I said, you need to walk. I said, and we need to continue to eat better, like the sugar that you like, so I'm explaining that. She said, oh, well, let's go walk now. Mind you, note that she hasn't been wanting to walk at all. And so it's been very challenging for me to get her to walk or to do anything. So we was walking yesterday. We did a little walking. And I was silent through the walk. I was silent through the walk, and then I was just listening to her. It was her, I, and my baby girl, and my little dog Zara. We were walking, and we came back in, and she ran upstairs. Her and my daughter ran upstairs, and so I went out to the back because I knew that there was a moment I needed to be able to be so I had my music on, and a song that my dad used to play all the time by Earth, Wind and Fire came on. And usually if that song it just came on. It just came on, and I kind of knew that was a connection that my father was there with me. And as I sat there, and I'll be very honest, I sat there and I had a moment to where I was just weeping, just crying, just weeping. And then my man came out, and he was sitting, because they was getting ready to, swim in the pool, and came out. He talked to me for a little bit, and we talked. And probably like 20 minutes later, my music was still blasting in the backyard, and my mom came out. Well, first she stuck her head out. She said, "Y'all swimming?" And we said, "Yeah." And she came out, and she started dancing. She wanted to step. Now, mind you, growing up, I hadn't really seen my mom dance, step, or anything. The very first time that I really saw my mom step and dance was at her 70th birthday party. And at that moment, I hired a live singer that can sing songs that my dad used to sing to her all the time. And so she was grooving and dancing to that, and she wanted to, step and dance. And so she was dancing with my man, and they were, out there by the poolside dancing. And as I'm filming it and I'm looking at her, and she didn't have a care in the world. Like whatever just happened 30 minutes ago to an hour ago to probably even this weekend, it was out of her mind and out of her head. And at that moment, I just sat and I thought about it, and I said, well, I understand what's going on, and sometimes it can be very, very challenging and very cruel to our spirit and our minds and our emotions. I said, but the very positive thing that I can get out of here is that her love for life and her love for music and her love for dance is that even through all of that, she's just living the moment. And she was able to capture that moment right then, just dancing. And waking up this morning, I knew I had to come in here and do this show, and I knew exactly the show was on positivity. And I'm not going to lie, y'all. I am not going to lie. I was like, what can I share with them of positivity on the long day that I had yesterday? I know it started off good, but in the middle of the day, I had a very challenging moment. But what I can say right now is I truly do understand, again, just another confirmation of my journey, of why this self-love podcast was created. Because during that yesterday, I used several of the strategies and tools that I talk about. I used a lot of them yesterday, just in that small amount of time. And the positive thing is behind that is because I've been open to be able to do that. That I understand that at times there will be challenging moments. But what's the positive that I can find out of that? The positive that I can find out of all of that is that I understand this woman, and I understand what she is going through. And what I do have is I have empathy for her. Not only do I have compassion for her, but I also have self-compassion for myself to understand that you can have your moments at times where you cry. Is that a negative? I'm not looking at that as a negative. I'm looking at it as a positive moment that I am being self-awareness, not of only of myself, but of her. But also what that makes me do is that, you know what? You have to work a little bit harder. You have to work a little bit harder for her. So even within negativity, I find positive notes for me. Now, I'm not going to lie, I don't know how this is going to help you all, but I hope it does. I hope it resonates with you all. Is that even in the most challenging times, seek what that positive is in there. Because I look at lessons as being positive moments, as positivity. All right, so since I shared that story with you all right now, let's take a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll get a little bit more into this impeccable word of positivity. It's your girl, the goddess, Nyomi here on this season of Self Love Podcast, and we'll be right back. Hey, it's your girl, the goddess, Nyomi Banks, and make sure you tune in every Thursday night to Ask Nyomi Bridging the Gap podcast, where we talk about everything from love, sex, relationship, cultural differences, and so much more. We're bridging the gap between them all, and we even talk about spiritual uplifting. You need to stop by Neon.com, Mike, as well as the BTG crew. We have some amazing guests that come through. You never know. Just make sure you tune in Thursday night, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Go to AskNyomi.com and tell them Nyomi sent you.
Washington Wellness Institute focuses on healing always. For me, if I look good, then I feel good. If I feel good, then I share the good. If I share the good, then I celebrate the good. If I celebrate the good, then I live the good, so I can be paid to be my greatest. But I had to learn the good to be the good.
So, what does it take to be the greatest? It's as simple as a free 15-minute consultation. Be kind to yourself and heal always.
All right, it's your girl, the goddess, Nyomi Banks here on this season of Self Love Podcast, and today we're talking about positivity here. With the month of May, we are using our words impeccably, and I was just sharing a story with you all on a bit of my weekend, but on how I have been able to take the positive out of a very trying situation. So let me tell you how that all came about. As I was recording this show this morning, and on my computer, usually it's silent. And I swear that I thought I put it on silent, but there was a notification that came up on my computer, and it was very, very loud to where the mic will pick it up. And so, of course, I had to pause, cut, collect. But there was a notification that told me that Ayana Venziet, excuse me if I'm pronouncing her name wrong, is that she was doing a live, and the live was called My Hair is on Fire. That's the name of her live was My Hair is on Fire. So I figured, well, hold on. This was extremely loud. So is this telling me to pause here and go listen over there? So guess what I did? Yes, I went to go listen over there. So as I'm listening over there to her, she is speaking about your hair being on fire. Now, I only heard a few things from a few minutes of what she said, about a good 5 minutes of what she was saying, because I knew I had to get back to doing what I'm doing, but I believe I heard what I needed to hear. And so what she was saying is that you need to come from an honest place of who you are, being authentic of who you are. And there were several different, questions that she was asking the viewers, the listeners. And one of the questions was, do you really love what you want to do, what you're doing? Are you being honest with the people around you? Are you being honest with your story? Are you being honest? Are you being authentic? She said, because when you're not, your hair begins to burn, to be on fire. And she went to break them down as honesty, H, hair, authenticity, A. And I didn't even get to the rest because I felt like I already knew what that was. And this was just in the beginning of my show that I knew, like, hold on. Because I had, as I already did, I was speaking in layers, and I was going to go do something else and do something else. And I knew myself is that, I was kind of struggling with the positivity word today. And I knew that, okay, no, I need to do this. This is our last week for this season. And so, but her thing was like, no, you need to be authentic with it. Tell what happened yesterday. Tell what happened yesterday and tell where you saw the positivity of it. Where you were able to gather yourself.
Show how this podcast has been a positivity to not only them, but to you as well. Because if it wasn't for you searching and seeking for your self-love and your healing, then a lot of the tools that you used yesterday, you wouldn't have been able to use. I even got a text from someone. And I told this fellow person, I said, one of my still friends. I said, the very thing that you have created, that you give to your clients and to other people, you give to self. You give it to yourself. It's a lot of times that we create things, we have advice for other people, all of this other stuff. And for some apparent reason, we don't think that it applies to us. The very people that are speaking it out of our mouths to other people want other people to believe us. But for some reason, we don't think that it applies to ourselves, and it does. It does. Even when you're talking to your child, the words that you are speaking to them are the same words that applies to you. And I'm going to be very honest. The version that you hear of this story that I just shared with you, that was the second version. Because the first version wasn't even right. And what I mean it wasn't right, it wasn't like it was a lie, because it wasn't a lie. It was the truth. But I was still putting a mask on it. I was still trying to make it sound, it's so, no. That moment that we had from noon till 2, was it 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock? In that span, it was horrible for me. But then I was able to see positive light that come from it. And I'm getting ready to say this is going to be so tripped out. The very reason of why I felt hurt was the woman that was going through this thing is who the very reason or that put the positivity in it back into it for me. Just to see her smile. Just to see her dance, just to see her sway, just to see all of those things was a positive life for me. Even though knowing what I just went through for that past 30 minutes in the breakdown, but that breakdown was giving myself permission to have self-compassion for myself, to understand that you are allowed to do that. You don't have to be that strong all the time. For me, that's positive for me, because I wouldn't have been able to do it. I'll still be with a strong, still face walking around here, strong, just hurting all within. And so this self-love, the Season of Self-Love podcast, my listeners, you are part of my purpose. My purpose has been a positivity for me. My healing has been a positivity for me. And my mom going through this Alzheimer's, she's living with it. I'm living through it. Has been a positivity for me. So for me, these are reminders that you have to look for that light. For me, light is positivity. I have to look for that light in everything that I do. I'm sorry, y'all, but I have to. Things that are happening in my life that I got to figure out what is that light? What is the positive aspect of that I need to take from there? And this goes back into talking about us overcoming things. Or the lessons that we learn from situations in our life, from past experience, from things of now, and living in the moment right now. It also taught me about living in the moment, being mindful. That's one of the layers. Cultivating positivity, having empathy for others, an act of kindness. So even though that moment was, I was still able to use quite a few of the different layers of positivity to cultivate it fully. Yeah. All right, so let's do this. Let's do a quick look journaling exercise, all right? Let's take a moment to reflect through our journaling. So here are a few prompts that I want to give you to guide you through. And as Dr. Will would say, grab your purpose paper and purpose pencil. And if you don't have it at this moment, wherever you at, you can always come back to this show, to this episode and write them down. But here's one prompt. What are 3 positive things that happened to you this week? What are 3 positive things that happened to you this week? And another one. What is one negative thought that you can turn into a positive one? What is one negative thought that you can turn into a positive one? And the last one. How can you spread positivity in your daily interactions? Now, I know it's going to take some time to kind of ponder and write down your thoughts, but take your time. Take this moment, take your time, or whatever. After the show is off, or tonight before you go to bed. Make that a part of your journaling exercise, is to do that. All right? All right, so let's do this. Let's take this last break, and then when we come back, we're going to, I got some affirmations, and then I want to do a nice little guided meditation, because remember, the month of May is all about mental health awareness, and I said that for the last 2 weeks that we were going to do a nice 2 guided meditations throughout the episode, all right? It's your girl, the Goddess, NmW&x, here on the Season of Self-Love podcast, and we'll be right back. What are some common barriers that prevent people from expressing? Hey, it's your girl, the Goddess, NmW&x, here from the Season of Self-Love podcast.
Yeah, I would say remorse. So shame and guilt is a very dividing emotional.
And these are one of the many amazing conversations that we have every day, Monday through Friday, right here on the Season of Self-Love podcast with myself, NmW&x, as well as our resident therapist, Dr. Will Washington of Washington Wellness Institute. Come by.
The reality of our relationships with people.
Come by.
And a lot of times we're afraid of how people look at us. And so that compassion can't enter.
You can hit us on the website,
really
the Season of Self-Love podcast.com.
Let me ask you this. With the truth, is it...
All right, welcome back. It's your girl, the Goddess, NmW&x, here on the Season of Self-Love podcast. And today we're talking about positivity. You know, the month of May has been all about using your words impeccably, right? And positivity is a word. And just as I just shared a story with you on yesterday about how I actually saw the positivity, that I was able to see positivity out of a challenging situation. All right, so now we're going to talk about affirmation and visualization real fast before we end this show. You know, so affirmations are a very beautiful way to reinforce positivity within us. And I just want you to repeat these for you, this affirmation for me. I am surrounded by beauty and positivity. I choose happiness and attract good things into my life. All right? Y'all want me to repeat that? I'm going to repeat that one more time. I am surrounded by beauty and positivity. I choose happiness and attract good things into my life. All right, so let's also do a visualization exercise, all right? First, I want you just to picture yourself achieving your dreams, surrounded by love and joy. And I want you to feel the positivity that radiates from this vision. And imagine how this energy impacts every decision that you make and every interaction that you have, all right? All right, so as we come to the end of today's episode on positivity, let's take a quick moment just to reflect on the impact of cultivating positivity in our lives. So I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to bring your mind to a moment when positivity made a difference in your day. I want you to feel the warmth of that memory and let it fill your heart with gratitude. Now think about how you can carry this positive forward. I want you to visualize yourself stepping into the future with a renewed sense of optimism and resilience. And I want you to repeat after me silently. I am a force of positivity, and I will continue to nurture positivity within myself and share it with others. And when you are ready, I want you to open your eyes knowing that you have the power to create a brighter and more positive tomorrow, okay? All right? All right, my beautiful people. So as we wrap up today's episode, I want you to remember that positivity is not just a mood. It is a mindset that can change how you view the world. It is a mindset on how you can view the world. As I shared that story with you I shared the story that I had yesterday, today, and how I was still able to see the positivity of it. Man, it just changed. That changed my whole view on things. And just to think, when I walked into this studio this morning and sat at this desk in front of this mic, I'm like, I can't do it. And then it was like a movie was just running through my mind. And then that ding from Ayana. And I go over there and listen to her live for a quick 5 minutes. And then come back. And then I'm able to give this show like it's supposed to be given. So I want to say thank you. Thank all of you for not only being a part of my purpose, but also confirming that me living in my purpose and sharing my purposes, this is my real. All right? All right, my beautiful people. So I want you to carry this light into every corner of your life. Positivity. Remember, positivity is my light. And I want you to watch it transform not only your perspective, but also the heart of those around you. Again, I thank you for joining me on this uplifting journey today. And I want you to keep shining bright and stay tuned for our next episode where we will explore another powerful word to uplift and inspire. Again, thank you everyone for tuning in to the Season of Self-Love podcast. And don't forget to subscribe, share, and engage with us on social media. Share your positive stories and how you implementing today's insight into your life. So until next time, keep embracing your beautiful journey with love and courage. Have a good one. Thank you for listening to the Season of Self-Love podcast. And we hope that you enjoyed this fun filled with inspiration, empowerment, and self-discovery. Remember, practicing self-love is a journey and not a destination. For more information and to stay connected with us, visit our website at theseasonofselflovepodcast.com. And if you have any suggestions or questions or feedback, feel free to shoot us an email at seasonofselflove@gmail.com. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook for daily doses of self-love tips, motivation, and community support. So join our Facebook group, The Season of Self-Love, to connect with like-minded individuals on their journey to self-discovery and self-compassion. Thank you again for being a part of our community and dedicating to nurturing self-love and embracing self-worth. So stay tuned for more exciting episodes and guests in the next season. And remember, you are worthy of love, kindness, and all the happiness in the world. So until next time, take care of yourself and spread love wherever you go. See you soon.